star, but if he is not in that role, if he is not performing to that T, then they do certainly run into struggles, and that's against even teams of their caliber.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, if you're going to put so much on one man, it's never really going to pan out the way that you hope it to, unfortunately. If he's the shining hope, which he obviously is going into this one, they have a tall task ahead of them. Starting on the CT side, though, we've got the in-game leader, Cyclone, there with the smoke and the kit. That's going to come in handy for any post-plant scenario. A nice bit of aggression, though. Pop dog control early, and this little drop-in is going to bring the action as two players go down to bow up. Nice and swift USP headshots there. The number advantage early for North Academy.
Yeah, but then it's taken back. Or at least he is. Tries to get himself out from T-Con. Instead, he's dropped. A-Core just full display there, dropping to Tabson. So now it's BiG trying to get their footing back beneath them. Legia still has all his utility. He will grab himself the bomb. But you know what? He's a little wary, and as he should be. Of course, the CT up close, caught off guard. The IGL of North Academy now down. Borup goes upwards, and he too executed by Legia. Gets himself another little headshot and puts this one down onto Gade. Now what's he going to do? He's going to just creep and crawl his way around connector. He's trying to isolate these gunfights, trying to figure out whether or not BiG are doubling up here, if they're going to continue that wraparound towards B, or if in fact this does arrive at the A site. So you know what? He's going to take a little bit more forward of a position. Try to disrupt this offense, and now he's spotted. Could spell disaster, or he could still, again, just quickly do something like that. He needs it again. Second one still on the table here as Legia closes the distance with 2 frags. He finds his third. Never needed the utility. It's BiG with the pistol.
Okay, so Borup was kind of in no man's land going up that ladder. That didn't really make much sense. He didn't need to chase down that kill onto Legia. Sure, the inner bomb site. Look, it's a scary place to be, but this first frag, Cyclone had no reason to be in no man's land coming up the ladder. Also, questionable decision, and then Legia just closing out there with that final frag. So just some weird choices there from the North Academy guys early. But a good sign for BiG is Legia getting those kills on the board. He's one of those players, to me anyway, who seems like when he starts strong, he keeps it going. He keeps that momentum going, and that's something that a team like BiG definitely need. They need their other stars, their other players to get on the board early.
Double flashbangs for A-Car. I wonder how they're going to try and use those into this round. He does go over towards Ivy, so he could have just stopped off the flood. I was assuming maybe a little T-Con peek, trying to get those pistols up close, but Cyclone has to fall slightly back as the fire and frag falls down upon him. And he's not going to make the same mistake as North Academy in the last round. He's not going to go up the ladder just yet. He has afforded that spacing now for BiG as they again get closer towards B.
Oh no, they've waffled that one, haven't they? Over the head, the smoke misses, and the in-execute's still going to happen as the Molotovs are getting chucked in. Jeez, there's been some terrible nades this round for the BiG guys. Maybe some early nerves, but going down low ramp, Gade's going to find one frag. Mertz with his own. The Deagle headshots ringing true as this is really struggle street for BiG as Legia once more with a frag jumping off high ramp. Keev's going to finally mop up, and they're not out of the woods yet as we do find ourselves in a 2v2.
Yeah, sure enough. Still Tabson on that AK, right? He's going to be the real insurance policy once he tries to plant, but he's got to be very wary of his backside here. At any given moment, that man above can just come charging downwards, and it is, of course, Cyclone, who holds his own. Doesn't get baited in with the first attempt, but it's the second that will go forward. Plant is found. Backs upwards, of course, spotted just beneath are his feet, and still it's not enough. Cyclone not going to find the kill, and unfortunately for North Academy, despite a strong start, they won't find the round. Would have been an upset off the back of a couple flubbed utilities.
That was messier than my sister's bedroom floor. Like, she doesn't know how to clean her room, but that was something special, I think, there. The Molotov at high ramp, the jumping over Godby's head as he tries to throw a smoke. Maybe BiG just need to take a bit of a breath right now as they have managed to avoid disaster. Legia really has a... There we go. They finally got the weapon in hand. I thought they had a Glock, but this is where you know they can run away with it. They can farm up with those 2 MAC-10s, get a little bit more money. What is this?
I've seen this before. They've done this in MDL.
You watch a lot of Counter-Strike, mate.
Just different Counter-Strike,
I suppose. Yeah, I suppose.
And yeah, so they're just anticipating for somebody to walk out from, of course, the ladder, right? You've got one P250, like that's the problem.
Yeah, if they had a little bit more firepower, maybe.
Last time I saw this, it was 5 P250.
It's creative and definitely from probably an idea from Ave, whereas you used to have to do stacks like that. I think it was him on Tuscan who had a really cool one at the short section of the map when he was in the MTW days. But regardless, here's the farm, here's the mop. There they go, they're down. We're going to get in the action. The first gun round coming on in. And this is where we need to see where Mertz is going to be. What position are we going to find him in? Is he going to have that AWP? And how much impact is this guy going to need for North to put rounds on the board? So many question marks, isn't there?
Yep.
Just so many question marks. But he does have the AWP. No utility. He's not glass cannon. He does have a bit of Kevlar with him there. But just a default spread coming out early from BiG. Next will be taking care of that T middle section. We do have Tabson and Godby over towards the white halls / box halls. And Kiev will be working with Legia to get some Ivy presence.
Just going to go for the peek after flashing himself for the cross. Of course, Akar's not going to actually challenge here by putting himself on display. He will wait patiently for BiG to make the next step. In the meantime, North Academy will continue onwards here. A bit of a trek towards the forefront of the A site. Molotov down in the stairs. Still nothing. This is just screaming heroic versus Rise Nation.
Yeah, so basically the idea for those playing at home from BiG is just to whittle down any utility that North Academy may have brought into this round, which they've done successfully. No, well, one smoke left, and there it goes. No Molotovs, only a couple of flashes. So if an execute does come in from BiG, it's going to be very difficult to defend, very difficult to shut down those choke points. It's just going to be heads-up duels, aim versus aim. And BiG will have surely the advantage with their utility.
Of course, if anybody gets past Borup, they're going to have the back of Acorn next. So this is going to be a crucial contact moment from North Academy and instantly removed. Next just blasts him away. Cyclone attempting to hold his own in the ladder room, but down goes Acorn. There's the third frag, and one by one they fall. Clinical execution there from BiG into the A site. It nets them the plant, and while Mertz will desperately try to hang on to that AWP, right? He's the man we look towards in terms of impact. So he's definitely going to want that prized possession in the next round.
There wasn't really anything wrong with the setup North Academy had there. Like, they weren't assertive at all. They weren't seeking out that opening frag. They were just kind of holding, right? And if you're just going to do a default spread, you're going to wait for the utility to get used, and then you're going to execute efficiently, and Next is going to hit a nice shot like that, swinging out. Good to see his aim on point early. Always a question mark for BiG. But it's difficult, right? You're relying on your players to make the trades, and executes are methodical for a point. The utility is used to flush out certain areas of the map, and the AWP is going to go down, but JD's just going to hold on to it there. Luckily get that one into Mertz's hands, hopefully for this round. But the point of the matter is, when you have an execute, is to clear out certain issues, certain positions on the map. The flashes push people off lines. This is that opening kill. He's going to follow it up with a second. And just as easy as that. The idea in those situations is to know what you have to clear at that point. And that's what they're able to do. And that's why they're able to step out with such confidence. And if we're going to have that AWP in Mertz's hands, I feel that they need to try and make him as assertive as possible, not just having him sitting in limbo position, sitting back as the overseer. He needs to do exactly this. Get up close, get a bit personal with the big guys, and not just let them execute time and time again, as it appears they want to be heading towards that inner bomb site.
Maybe anticipating that Mertz will continue to play outdoors. Which is, of course, the case. Sure enough, Gade at a distance here. Does have the Deagle. He's got the Kevlar as well. Maybe he hits himself a zinger of a headshot. We did watch those two players fall in the last attempt into the B site from BiG.
It's a neater execute this time.
Yeah.
The smokes landed where they're meant to, and everything seems to be going to plan, as they haven't found any CTs just yet, but he is up close. He's behind the smoke. 3 CTs waiting to greet him, as Kiev's going to take down one man who was peering over the train.
Repositioning from Gade then allows for this rotation to come through, right? Because Legia is not allowed past this position. Mertz still playing patient, but Next will pop him. And yet again around here where North Academy are coming up empty-handed. Legia is even just going to give chase at this point, really wanting to ensure that that op goes down, and certainly it does. Every single player from North Academy snubbed out of that one. And so BiG continue on. 5-0.
Easy as that. Easy as that.
If one op is not enough,
let's get 2. And we're only 5 rounds into the game. But sure, it works on this map, right? The ops can work on this one. Looks like a fast execute coming out from BiG here. One of the teams who really got them going early. The Molotov's going to come in. It's going to slow them down. Maybe it's a double pump scenario.
could very well be. Right Now Keeve's going to be tasked with trying to find that opening pick, and nobody's really going to present themselves as of yet. If we've seen any movement, it's really over towards the ladder room. We haven't seen people take an aggressive stance on trains. Follow-up smoke. So again, one of these positions whereby the utility from North is coming out early. BiG are happy to play time.
Ooh, it's one of these things, though, right? We saw the same with Rise. There was nothing assertive early in their CT half. Eventually, they realized they had to take some form of aggression. Burrup is probably going to get flashed into mid here, and there it is. 2 players flashed up. 1, 2. The Mertz is going to chime in, and they're going to take down that lovely little stack. The tower will fall. And North has found themselves in the driver's seat for the first time in this map. Can they convert?
In the driver's seat, still in control. Haven't spun out as of yet. Gade from the oil tanker, good for 1. Got B, then dropped by the op, so Mertz yet again finding impact here, and as Legia just scuttles his way into the bomb site, he'll find his plant. But how much damage does he deal? That's then the next question. Finding Mertz is nice. That's one of the AWPs down. Next up, A-Core also dropped, and Legia is looking for a hell of a clutch right now. It's Borup and Cyclone. He duels 1v1, and he nearly finds it. Woo!
Doesn't even matter, right? Here's what happens. You win this round, you just lose 4 players. Sure, you salvage the AWP. That's just maybe a cherry on top of a very ugly looking bit of ice cream. Melted ice cream. Ice cream won't melt in Sweden. But the point of the matter is, you're not going to be able to scrap together a buy. And Legia has done exactly what he needed to do. Get the plant, make those frags, and now you just hit him with that hard reset. That real hard reset. This is fantastic from Legia. This is what I was talking about. He started strong. He's going to continue that form through. These are the frags. This is the momentum the BiG clan needs. Low utility.
Yeah.
None on Mertz. 2 kits though. That's not too bad. This is where I would love to see, you know, BiG. Look, they're playing it fundamentally sound in the sense of they're going for that default. And here's the aggression. This is what we needed. A-Core, fantastic. Now we're playing a little bit more dynamic Counter-Strike. Now we're getting in the swing of things.
Yeah, North Academy definitely went for that as well in the last round, but even then it was like 25, 30 seconds deep. This is straight out of the gates. And Tabson's looking to respond, and despite being fully flashed, he's still prying to the back of this bomb site. Falls down upon it, and that's going to start drawing the rotation from North Academy. We now see all 5 players trying to converge before the hit comes through. Commitment has been made as the bomb will make its way across. Utility trickling in here from North as they're dealing early damage. Frags as well starting to pop up on the kill feed. And it does leave this even keel, 3v3. Smokes, of course, with cover, allow for BiG still to shuffle around, and Gade very close, despite not knowing this, to Tabson. Tabson actually finds his footing through it, and A-Core's there to backstab straight away. So 2v2, 1 op per side, and it is still the retake attempt. Nearly had 4 up in the last time. Of course, Legia, the man still standing here with the AWP drop, but there they go, next. In a perfect trade frag, lines him up, knocks him down, and puts BiG back on the board.
There's that reset that we're talking about. The money right now is not looking fantastic for North. We got 1,500 on Mertz and Gade, 1,400 on Burrup. A-Core's got the most with 3K, and that's based off a couple of kills he just got then, and Cyclone just a little over 2K, so not the place you want to be. The Deagles get picked up again, so that means we're going to be seeing 2 back-to-back ecos coming out. They do prefer these Deagles over the CZs or anything of the sorts. Maybe they back their aim.
I feel like especially on train, you can go for some dirty Deagles.
Yeah, T-side and CT side, it can be very effective. It was never the case when I was playing, but I also had terrible aim.
That'll get you.
One of the many problems I had, I think.
The nostalgia you brought up within me, Sponge, when you walked into the venue today wearing a Vox Eminor shirt.
Yeah, with toothpaste on it. I brushed my teeth in a hurry this morning.
I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt and leave that part out, but honest man. Here comes Mertz. Going to try to lock himself behind the E-box. Players starting to trickle inwards. He's trying to isolate the fights, but being fully blind certainly doesn't help. He's desperate here, and he's also down. Tabson to find the first, and the rest of the CTs are really in no position to trade frag. So unfortunately for North, that's a bomb plant. And that should be the conversion point from BiG, getting themselves past these Deagles.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think what we saw in that last round where they were able to, it ended in a 1v1, The guys from North, knowing they're taking a double eco, should go for as many frags as possible. But they're not going to get farmed by SMGs. And the bank for BiG, you know, you could do a lot more damage by going for these kills as opposed to giving away the frags. So I don't mind this. I don't mind the fact they're willing to contest. But this one's all over. It's going to be 7-1 in favor of BiG. And this is where I think we will see the mix-up of pace coming out. Godby is fantastic at doing this. His pacing, the way that he dictates on the T side. Unless he just wants to, you know, unless he doesn't want to really show anything. This, you have to remember in matches like this, you don't necessarily have to show anything. You can just play your standard, do your default until it stops working and then opt to change things up. But this is normally the point of the game, after this next eco, is where you would see the BiG clan throwing something a little bit different. Another in-game leader who's very good at those MSL from North, so it's good to see in-game leaders with that mindfulness at least, especially this level of Counter-Strike. Second eco I was talking about. Looks like it's just going to be another in-hit coming. Tabson, 1-2. Thank you very much. Cyclone at high ramp with the Deagle. Bit of head armor. Unless he's a miracle worker here. He's going to grab one onto Legia. Flicks around. Can he find a second? Hits the tag. The nade will clean him up and blow him to smithereens as Acor, last man standing, USPS. Oh, what you want? Oh, hello. I like this. Getting a little bit cheeky. And dead.
In a matter of moments, Tabson posted. But unsuccessful as of yet. Still, again, good round from BiG. Shaking things up, keeping it fresh. North Academy. Well, that reset certainly hurt them, right? Just trying to go through the motions, get themselves back into the bye. We've seen the single op, we've seen the double op.
And you're about to do the mix-up of pace. I got faith. I got faith that BiG are about to just throw a fast play, probably an out split. Smokes and Molotovs galore.
North Academy don't have an in-game spray.
Nope.
Again, just more evidence here of the gap that exists between these lineups.
We're really, really reaching. Oh no, it's just the default again. Never mind. Never mind. So, I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's with a chance here to open up the round. He's going to swing out. Tabson's going to put him to bed. Good night, sweet prince. As the man that we've touted as the only hope for this North Academy roster will go down early and leave 4 men and a bleeding Acor in a position of despair. It's a bleak start to this cloudy, cold Saturday morning. The first Saturday of December.
Very true. Very true. Man, this is patient. BiG. Probably realizing that if they get over this gun round, that they are just then clearing yet again a hurdle that didn't really slow them down. I feel bad for Mertz in the sense that he was very much distracted from the man underneath Tabson, and then he just gets instantly executed. We'll give him praise in the sense that he's been trying to change up his position, right? We've seen that forward A spot.
Look, yeah, you can only seek out the frags so much, right? This is the thing. You either be assertive. I would prefer him to probably do it with a flash of a teammate or maybe something along those lines. But as I'm too busy waffling on, Tabson clearing out high ramp, was going to grab another 2, but Gates putting up a fight. He's going to get 2 of his own, and now we're finding ourselves in not a... Never mind. Never mind.
Legia, the insurance policy here is Acor would love to save his gun, but he doesn't get the chance. Dead to rights. As eventually BiG decide to put the pedal to the metal, charge into that B site, and off of Tabson's entry, really take it aback. But you know what? I think you're right here. There was no flashbang. There was no help.
Yeah, it was just kind of a solo mission going out to see what he could find. They're obviously going to be ready for that, right? Like,
yeah.
This is a team that is classes above them. And yet another pistol round for North Academy, right? So they haven't had a lot of chances with the weapons, and that's kind of the cycle you fall in by starting on the CT side. Now, there was a knife round, so I assume that they picked the CT side. I missed it. I wasn't paying much attention while it was going down. But this is the thing. We saw the same thing with Rise Nation. Maybe they should have started on the T side. We do talk about this. We do talk about potentially starting on the T side. It's a little bit easier in the sense of to get going, because you can dictate. You can choose where you want to take more fights, and Tabson with yet another entry, another opening frag for BiG.
Next looks to carry this momentum into the A site. Gade looks to come in from behind, but despite being fully flashed, Tabson still blasts him away. Cyclone left over, 1v5, and while he finds a little bit of impact on the CZ, he is then dead. BiG, 9 points in the lead here. Very much just going through the motions. And North Academy, I mean, in most of these rounds, not even equipped to hold them back, let alone capable.
Pause coming in, probably about time. The thing is, how many gun rounds do you think we've had, Max? Three gun rounds where North Academy have actually had a chance to be on even pegging, even keel. And that's just very frustrating, especially on a map like Train, where on the CT side, getting those opening kills is very important. And the adjustment probably needs to be to try that assertive nature again. We saw it over towards Ivy with A-Core pushing out, grabbing an opening kill. We saw Mertz try it, but on his own. Maybe the adjustment needs to come in that, I don't mind that. I don't mind taking a gamble. Let's try like a 3-man inner push. Have the AWP as the overseer at high ramp. 2 rifles pushing up low ramp. We know they've been doing the default. You know, we can definitely see that is the case. But once again, similar to the default, but we've got more players heading towards white walls early. They're doing an opening move, using the smokes and molotovs to waste and bait out anything North Academy has in store. But at the same time, just taking control of box holes, getting ready for any attack. And it looks like it's just going to be an in-hit. That means Gade is going to have to stand and deliver.
He did get a multi-frag in the most previous round, but there he has it. Just one, taps and trades straight back. Mertz now going to be tasked with holding off on the ramp, and he's baited into firing his op, and then actually hits his teammate in the back of the kneecaps.
All still mates.
Poor old Borup dropped to half HP. Just another layer of hindrance here versus North Academy, but off of the utility here, BiG should be able to push in. They've got that spacing past the train, not walking into the aim of Cyclone, who just patiently waits on site. In fact, Nexus just beneath this push, and here comes a couple kills. They've got a man advantage, and most notably the bomb in a very awkward spot. Despite Legia now coming in from above, showering down, they do still swing this into their favor. A-Core has to clutch, and he's tagged up in the open. Legia executes with the headshot, and that is BiG yet again to the board. 11-1 now.
It's obviously a lot more competitive when they do get the opening kill, right? If we just quickly flick back and look at the history of rounds, if we go back to round number 6, Mertz opened up and they're actually able to grab a couple more from that point and convert that round. You flick forward the next one, that's where we saw the A-Core aggression, but the mid-round reaction was very quick by those of BiG, and they're able to close into that inner bomb site. And then this round that we just saw there, Gade with the opening kill, but it wasn't enough. The trades came out in favor of BiG. So only 3 opening kills on important rounds thus far for North Academy. Otherwise, sure they had the opening on the pistol. Sure they had an opening on an eco. But BiG on the cleanup after that.
Early damage turned into 2 opening frags. BiG have barely been contested on these types of rounds. And while, of course, Borup gets 1 deagle towards the end, that's all he'll get. Legia seals it. And I think BiG are on the fast track to a very convincing score here, Chad. At least with the Rise Nation game, they had enough of a buffer that when they went into the second half and they won out on the pistols, they started to mount a bit of a comeback.
Yeah, it was 13-2 T-half. You know, that's not an easy thing to really come back on, right? We did see Rise do it, but this is what I was talking about. Legia with a strong pistol start. He is now sitting on, I think he's just above 20 kills. Yeah, he's got 20 frags on the knocker. Tabs in the star himself on 17, and then next Keeve and Gold B. They don't really have to contribute too much at the moment, but this is the change of pace I was talking about earlier. Fast outplay Tabson already at the bomb train. Borup's going to find one. Dive into the Molotov, put it out just in time, but kills are definitely swinging in the favor of North here.
Whoa, 4 of them. Straight back, Gobby in an afterplant. He's the man that decides to go fast, and now he's going to have to come up with the win.
Oh.
Will finally find the first man, gets himself a second, but that's all they'll take. BiG giving it up. Bit of a change of pace plays into the hands of the Danes.
They like the heads-up Counter-Strike, it appears, North Academy. They want the fight to come to them. They don't want to be strung out and forced to rotate. So maybe the adjustment that I was talking about from BiG didn't need to come in. And like I said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But Cyclone from above, getting 2-piece feed there. Happy with that one.
I feel like Borup on the bomb site jumping into the flames and really kind of grabbing the attention of BiG. Set up the man in the office to really succeed.
And gave us some excitement as well. You got KFC in Canada?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, nice little 2-piece feed.
Quebec, though, it's called PFQ.
Bloody French. Anyway, back to the default, back to the spread and pick. Waiting to see anybody from North Academy overextend. The pace is slowed once more.
Back to what was working, right?
There's only one round left.
Yeah.
Just see if you can get yourself another 13-2. We've had blowouts of halves here, but I really just can't see North Academy coming back in the same way that we did see Rise Nation. In that regard, Rise were much more, I guess, impressive. That connector smoke's come out. Oh, we did see Mertz find the opening, so this is probably going to force the rotation to inside. Oh, Mertz going to jump up, spot one, just missed, and he seems a little bit nervy right now, but the attack is actually coming out team, and his Burrup's going to swing out, grab one. That's a second for A-Core.
All right. Borup as well, despite the flames at his feet, peeks in, gets a headshot. Now, Tabson's good. Tabson's
pretty
real
damn good, yeah.
But this might be a bit of a stretch of the imagination. He's got some time to play with.
You know what they say, dream big.
Real big. Flash, second one, charges, all right.
Why not? Why not try something a little bit flary there? To be fair, I think, you know, BiG, they just showed why they, you touched on it, the structure that this unit has. The way that they can just have a dominant default, they can force the mistakes out of North, and then if they're not actually given any challenges, then they can just execute more proficiently. Eventually, we saw some heads-up Counter-Strike coming out of the guys from North Academy. They were given some jewels, given some advantageous situations, and they were able to get the kills. So we really need to see them turn it around here on the T half. They really need to have something spicy, something interesting, something fresh if they want to make this one a competitive map. Otherwise, we'll be moving on to number 2 very quickly. Who do you want to see more for? Or from? Mertz, probably? He's got 6 frags.
Yeah, I'd like to see, just because he is kind of revered, right, as that kind of next-level player for North Academy. I mean, to be fair, the entirety of this team has been tied up with the success of BiG.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of that we would paint both teams with a similar brush, right? We say, now we're talking about 2 different levels of Counter-Strike. We're talking about BiG trying to be a Tier 1 or on the cusp of Tier 1 team. And we look to Tabson and we say, he is the main star of this team. He needs to rock up. And then we're doing the same thing with Mertz for North Academy to even be considered in contention. But we do have a bit of utility coming out. A-Core with the smoke, flash, and a decoy for good measure. And Cyclone with a smoke and Molotov. It looks like inside is where the action will be going down early. Going to be with utility of his own.
All right. Deep utility coming in towards the outer yard. Next, being smoked off, looks to reposition. And he'll do so by going above. USP at this distance can work out, and he gets himself that first. Continues to tap away, but A-Core stops him, actually. And Godby's got to be cautious. There's a man prying over top of the smoke, looking for these kinds of kills, which now begin to trickle in. Kiev taking Mertz with a side swipe. Cyclone fully flashed, and that's not going to help. Legia clears the corner, starts pushing inwards, but now there's a response, a breath of life coming in here from the Academy. Borup off of E-Box, A-Core over by the Ivy train on the burst fire, tries to make it work, and it won't. That is BiG with another pistol.
We all fall into that burst fire trap every now and again, but another round that could have gone in the favor of North Academy falls apart from the superior aim and I guess understanding of how to play as a team from BiG. Now on the board, pretty much knocks this game out of reach for North Academy, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depends on where you're from.
Very true.
I wonder what they're saying right now. I wonder if Gobby's like, Wunderbar. Like, so gut.
Probably. Something along those lines.
Alles ist gut. Fantastisch.
You're the one learning German.
Trying.
I just do French.
I think the French have better food than the Germans.
Yeah. I'm going to have to side with you there.
Push Gobby, do it. Do it.
He's got the arsenal for it. He's got Tabson on the other side as well, so if Tabson can just hold these players back, distract them, soften them up, and the buckshot of that Mag 7 can seriously go to town.
Tabson set up the idea of the one-way there. He's not actually playing off of it, but that can be enough to put fear in the hearts and souls. But the flash comes in. They're coming out higher amp. Tabson's going to grab nice 2 frags. They're going to go down to Mertz's Glock, but... Keith?
All right.
He's having fun with it. He's having fun with it. Just an easy shutdown. They only lost the M4 on Tabson, which they should be able to retrieve. I didn't see if they grabbed it or not.
I think Nick's got his paws on it. Going back to the UMP when it had 4 bullets left over. Ambitious knife. Wants the bang for his buck. Instead, it's big on 14. North Academy coming in with a body here. Early bomb plants have netted them this opportunity. So at least we get one gun round. At the very least here, Chud.
One's better than none.
Frag grenade in from Tabson. Again, he played responsively. And in this round, he's playing responsibly. He's already fallen off of the ramp. Doesn't want to give up his life. Not as of yet. He will still be in question. And he's calling for the rotation over. Again, it's Gobby over towards ladder, not coming in as of yet. And Mertz just instantly deletes him. So that's certainly footing towards the bomb site here for North Academy. But again, they've been boxed in. Gobby trying his best, but with a shotgun at that distance, what are you going to do? Die to A-Core. Mertz drops Keeve off of connector, then falls next. It is just Legia left over. 5 players up from North Academy. That's the kind of round you love to see if you are in the Danish camp. It means they'll have another chance in the follow-up.
I like the strategy there from North Academy. It was a bit like a contact play, but I think Fallen has at least labeled those kind of plays as more like an explosion. So they took advantage of that limbo period between, you know, okay, calling for that rotation and just used a simple flash and then just attacked onto the bomb site and exploded, right? And really took Tabson off guard. Managed to get the bomb site quickly. The rest of the rotation coming in from BiG, they had a really tall task to get back into that one. And as you mentioned, the weaponry from Gobby on the flank. Not really the easiest thing to use. So we are going to see BiG on a pistol buy here. They just need to go through the motions now. They don't need to do anything. They don't really need to force buy on the CT side of train. Get the guns back in hand, and from that point onwards, we should be seeing them. A nice little boost over the smoke here. Always love to see stuff like this. People always changing it up, mixing it up, trying new things.
But Tabson's dead.
Yeah. But this just feels like another when are we going to get their moment as opposed to if.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fill me with a whole lot of excitement.
Are you not fired up from this?
If they can, like, do what Rise Nation did, sure, I'll be super excited. It's just difficult to, like, build an arc, you know, get the people at home super invested when the score is 14-4 and we have BiG on an eco.
Yeah, it's fair not to believe just as of yet. They continue with some success. I mean, that was a convincing gun round into the B site.
That's with 2, right? So that's what we're looking for. We need him to pick up his game a little bit. Has the AWP back in hand, but Keeve lying in wait in the cutout here. He might be able to find Mertz if he wants to peek out and search for a frag, but Nicole thinks something might be up, and he's going to walk into the hands of Keeve, who will find the kill. But getting that AK is going to be a different story. As I say that, Mr. E works in his favor.
Ooh, Keeve with another. That's a man advantage now in the CTs. They've got the footing towards the site. Borup sure enough responds, but here comes Keeve. What a play. Drops it down to just Cyclone. He's sectioned out of this so far back, but Gobby's going to have to give chase, and this is just burning time off of the clock. That's all that he needs to do. Cyclone comes, re-aggresses, and nearly dies to a single point of health, uses the flash to ensure this one, and that is the case. It is North Academy with another round, but they move nothing forward into the next.
Doesn't get more expensive than that. You know, you get the round on the board, great, but you lose everybody. There's enough money spread across the board. They can get that AWP back up for Mertz, who was actually down the bottom of the scoreboard. Cyclone has 7.1. He can definitely drop that AWP over and they can get what they need going. Here's the question mark. What are we going to see from North Academy now that they have the full utility, now that they actually have a gun round coming their way? And boy, Mertz going for the Hail Mary play there, going for the connector peek onto Keeve, and he's just going to get it shut down early. The man is gone in the first 15 seconds of the round once more, and team left on a 4-on-5 situation, a tall task, mountain to climb. A lot of work ahead of them.
It's one of those moments, right, where you're thinking to North Academy, they've kind of got to continue with the tempo. They've got to take matters into their own hands, and yet, if you're not cautious, this is what you're left over with, a 4 versus 5 on the T side of train with very forward positioning from BiG. We see both Legia and Tabson at the extremities of the map, and a 2-man core bottled up, now 3 on A. Tabson just going to further their success early on. Drops Gade. Leaves North Academy scrambling here, all split up. And Tabson, well, he's not going to shy away. He's going to re-engage, and he dies for it, but at least deals damage. Borup on a sliver of health here. A couple of smokes, gives some footing. Attempts to nullify Keeve. Of course, next, he's still got his eyes towards the T-Con, and B's now got himself into the B bomb site. Here's the feet above him. Plays it patient for now.
What?
Hold on. B's gonna come in big. That's the game plan here. He has to, seeing as he just let his teammate die. And as he hears both players, peeks out wide, and even that's then traded back. So we've got a serious situation where North Academy have footing in this bomb site. They're gonna get their plant. And now it's up to the AWP of Kyiv and the M4 of Legia to get themselves back in this one. A round that they should not have lost.
No kids. Gobi really should have made that second frag. Time is against him right now, and Arup's going to make another one. And Kyiv, he's not going to be able to get into this round. He should just save at this point. Oh! Kyiv!
That's wild. Disgusting shot up close. Sure enough, it's still time that is the issue. And North Academy find themselves a 6th. B.
Okay, well, unless the communication didn't make it through to, hey, I'm letting a player push past. He's definitely shown up on the radar.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like B's bad. He was going for a play to stop the plant. I think with the amount of time left on the clock, maybe not essential. Maybe I'm wrong. It's decisions. Counter-Strike's all about decisions, and some come back to haunt you.
It's okay. It is just one round,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
It's,
well, that's the way it starts, mate. That's the way it starts. But they do have this AWP on Kyiv, who has been hitting some nice shots in the last couple of rounds, or at least this game. He can pull out some more magic. I mean, with a couple of frags from those pistols. There's always deadly pistols. Anything's possible for BiG. Tabson will have those sound cues. There are members occupying brown holes right now. He has a buddy in tow. B. The big green, the real weapon, the only thing in their arsenal. Making its way over with the rotation now as the hit comes in.
Sees the first one, drops it straight away. Kyiv still in question as Acor and Mert start to clear up the site. Tabson taken off of the spindle, and Kyiv still finding impact here. Looking for someone to overextend now that the plant's been put through. Nex creeping his way forward. And he's going to actually have Kyiv's flashbang to work with. That's an easy cleanup because Acor's incredibly tagged. Next just continues on. A lot of damage dealt. Now puts Kyiv in a prime position to possibly clutch this. Up close with an AWP. Now the USP, but fully blind. He still takes that frag. 10 seconds, no kit. Taps it the first time. Goes for the shot and Kyiv hits it. Oh, that's gross.
That's dirty.
And the defuse, Chad.
This is what we're talking about, right? This is a much lower caliber opponent for that of BiG. But this is what we need to see from Kyiv. This is what I saw from Kyiv at Dreamhack Leipzig in the start of the year, right? When these guys kicked off their campaign for 2017, when they just became a unit. We had the likes of Kyiv. We had Nex showing up. Tabson getting it done, being that absolute force to be reckoned with. We even got Legia here with that strong start. And B, you know, he does the hard work. He gets the strats done. He does that prep with Kakafu, the coach. We want this all the time. At top tier.
Yeah.
Germany, they deserve a good Counter-Strike team, you know? You look back to the Mouse Sports days with the legendary team that Gobi was leading then, you know? It's been a very long time since we've seen that from German Counter-Strike.
And I feel like, you know, with a good showing here in Sweden, then they're going to be primed for the upcoming major because obviously they still maintain their legend status.
Who will they be? They'll be playing Mouse Sports if they win this best of 3.
Yeah.
So that's an organizational grudge match in some way, shape, or form. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. This is the last, or potentially the last round on the first map of the second best of 3. North Academy could be getting that ferry back across to Denmark if they're unable to put up much of a fight over this and the next 2 maps.
Seen Tabson fall early on in these kinds of rounds, but again, deep grenade.
Seems very telegraphed that this is going to be that inside explosion coming in once more. The execute seemed sloppy before. Molotovs didn't land where they had to.
Doesn't pull the trigger. Gives a little bit more spacing. Tabson trying to find impact here, but it is Kyiv on that op. And sure enough, despite all of this damage being dealt here versus the Danes, they've still got themselves the footing and the plant in the round. CZ to follow suit, but Cyclone just can't get it through. Nex and B combining for kills here, and that's the man advantage turn 2. Borup all that's left, and here we have it, folks. BiG will seal the deal. Took a little bit of extra time there.
Yeah, well, it's just a matter of closing, right? That's usually the hardest thing to do. You can get the conversation started, but sometimes it's harder to finish it off. So, BiG there getting the victory with those lovely molded in-ears, which I can strongly appreciate. I know Staticus at home will be thinking the same, but look, hard to look at positives for the North Academy there. We really didn't see too much, especially we